Friday nights, we normally
Yeah.
order out. For a family of four, that's a $60, $80 bill.
Where are you eating? That's cheap, really?
Chipotle. I'm being conservative here.
No
Let's
guac
say.
in McCall's house. All right, think of it as a mid-year checkup, but for your money here. So are you still on track with your financial goals, from your savings and spending to your investments, even your taxes? Now is the time to take a closer look. I'm your host, Josh Sidorowicz. This is the In Your Corner podcast from CBS News Philadelphia, and one of our faves, Mical Jeanlys-White. She is back to help walk us through what you need to review and then how to make some smart adjustments starting today. Thanks for coming back, Mical.
Thanks, Josh. Always a pleasure to be back.
We just need to keep you here because you're one of our best guests here. You keep it real.
Thank you.
You help us understand. I'm not that smart, so I need all the help I can get. All right. Frankly, a simple mid-year reset, though. I mean, this could really help you maybe avoid some costly mistakes down the road, and then just finish the year stronger. So, where should I be looking to kind of begin this process?
Yeah, you definitely need a reset this year because the year is very different than how we entered it in
I
January.
say a lot has happened since we first
A lot
talked.
has happened. I actually sort of went back to our January segment in terms of what the outlook or what we thought it would be for this year. And things have dramatically changed, right? I would not have expected to be paying almost $5 a gallon for gas.
And we were
It's
not
real.
anticipating a war. Yeah.
Epic Fury was not, on my bingo card at all for the year.
Yeah.
But here we are, and it certainly is impacting prices. It's impacting inflation, and I'm sure you guys are all feeling it. It's no surprise to you that your dollar is not going as far.
So then, when you're starting to revisit, is there something that you think we should hit first?
Yeah, hit the spending.
Hit the spending.
Yeah,
So
find
looking at
places.
cash flow.
Yeah, find places where you can bring your spending down. So if that is like eating out less, if that is, find the fluff. I definitely don't think you
Find the
should,
fluff.
take it all out.
Yeah. You
Um,
can still enjoy your
yeah,
coffee and your.
exactly. But find where, maybe I can pull this out so that I can offset where prices have gone up.
Should I look at like the last 6 months? That's
Yeah,
the good.
look at the last six
Yeah.
months, the last month. So it's not, too overwhelming. I always say look at the last 2 months because there's not much you can do sort of going all the way back, but where are the things that you can tweak? So it might be a little adjustment on an upcoming vacation. If you were going to take 2 weeks, maybe it's now a week and a half, but find the places where you can reasonably pull back so that you can still hit those goals.
And I'm bought in on the spreadsheet. I got my
Yes.
spreadsheet monthly. We're tracking expenses. I can see the trends.
Yeah.
I love that. I know not everyone does
Not
that.
everyone
It's not
does.
realistic. But some kind. The point is, there's got to be some kind of way where you can be tracking month to month, at least.
Yes.
Estimating
You
kind
got
of
it.
what categories you're spending in and how much you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's some people will follow their spreadsheet. Other people will do sort of what I call the mental math. So
Mhm.
it's like, okay, well, Friday nights we normally
Yeah.
order out. For a family of four, that's a $60, $80 bill.
Where are you eating? That's cheap, really?
Chipotle. I'm being conservative here.
No
Let's
guac
say.
in McCall's house.
Let's be honest, it's probably closer to 150, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
when you think that you've done this 4 times, right,
Yeah.
every Friday,
Mhm.
so now you're at $600. Well,
Mhm.
if you take one Friday out, you brought that down by 150. You skip a Friday, every other Friday, you've saved $300.
You could still go out, just
Maybe not there,
not
or
every, or not every Friday.
make it a fun like, hey, we're gonna prepare a meal together as a family and
Mhm.
turn that. And now it's warm, so you can go out and grill
Yeah,
and do
exactly.
more, fun things and invite the neighbors or sort of trade off. Like we'll do my home and we do your home the following week, but find ways in which you can sort of very intentionally pull back.
Okay, so start with your cash flow. Where's the money going right now?
Yes.
Then what?
I also want you to take a look at your credit cards, right?
Okay.
We know the average American has anywhere between $7,000 to $9,000 in credit card debt. Find places where you can reduce those rates. One of the things that people don't understand about their cards is, cards have different rates, and
Mhm.
if you have a rewards card, the rate tends to be higher because it costs
Got the
the issuer
rewards. Yeah.
more. So if you're not using those rewards and you are spending on that card, you're paying more interest than you probably need to.
Mhm.
So look at the cards where you have bounces and think about where can I sort of pull back or more effectively save money. And even think about, calling your card companies and seeing if you can negotiate those rates down.
I love mentioning that. Anytime we talk about it all the time here on In Your Corner is people don't realize they may have the power to get it lowered themselves just by
Absolutely.
asking.
Absolutely. The other thing I would encourage everyone to do is look at your tax deductions, the withholdings. You know, a lot of Americans have gotten healthy returns, but that essentially means that you were probably withholding more than you should have and were giving the government a tax-free loan.
Ooh, okay. So this
Yes.
is always a hotly contested debate during tax season. I had it this
Yes.
season on the podcast. Do you want the bigger refund or do you want to adjust your withholding? What I got to tell you, it's a pretty split camp, but you're
Yeah.
saying no on the big refund.
I don't, we are not fans of the big
I
refund.
mean, same, but
You know, if you could get it to the point where you're, within a good range, so let's say your refund is $1,000 or so,
mhm,
so that you don't feel like, hey, I'm going to have to write a check, great. But if you're getting $8,000, $10,000 back,
mhm.
that is money that you could have had access to all year. So if you're getting back $10,000 or $5,000, but you have credit card debt of 7,000 and you're paying 18, 19%, but you just loan the government 5 to $10,000 tax free for the whole year, who's making money and who's not?
And that's just a matter of adjusting the little withholding
Yes,
on
and
your
you can go to
W-2, right? Yeah.
irs.gov. You can literally put in the numbers and get the estimate of what your withholding should be. And you can model the different scenarios so that it will tell you what your likely refund will be. So you can even play with it and say, well, I want a refund of 2,000. So let's model my withholding so I get to a refund of roughly 2,000. Or no, I want to break even, and you can model that withholding. So some of you guys have money right now that you're just not tapping into.
The average refund this season was around 4,000, so that's a
Yeah.
sizable amount. But you're saying too, okay, maybe because the big concern for a lot of people is, well, I still want a cushion. I don't want to have to write a check that I can't
Yes.
afford when tax day comes.
Yes.
So you're saying, okay, even if you're getting 1,000 back, that's okay.
That's
Like
okay.
that's a good buffer.
You can control how much you get
Yeah,
back. You
yeah.
can go on irs.gov, use the calculator, and actually put in the scenario that you're most comfortable with. But right now, if you are borrowing, if you are feeling very stretched, you could go in
hmm
and change your withholding, and by the next pay cycle, have an additional $200.
Which is no small chunk of money these
No
days.
small chunk of money if you're paying more for gas
hmm
and everything else. And if you're now putting that stuff on a credit card and paying interest on it, that mathematically does not work.
I mean, look, it makes sense to me, but I'll tell you, I
Yeah,
think you and I are in the minority on this podcast when we've talked about it.
I'm okay with Uncle Sam sending me the bill.
You can leave your comments down below for McCall.
You can tag me. I just don't think that you should be paying for money, but then lending money
hmm
out
And not
interest free.
getting anything back for it.
Right?
Yep.
You're literally incurring debt. So a $4,000 refund, that's almost $300 to $400 a month that you could have access to now. That's money for increasing cost of living, but that's also money you could be investing.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So, a good time to reevaluate your investments. Let's start with like retirement
Yes.
contributions. What should I do there?
401ks. This is one that I am hearing time and time again. We hear it on our team at Wealthmore. We hear it when we meet with other wealth advisors. We have a lot of people who either are not making contributions to the 401k.
They're just not.
They're just not.
Wow,
And
really?
it's very problematic when they are not even taking the company match.
Yeah, it's free money.
Overwhelming amount of people are not taking the company match. It is literally part of your compensation. So if your employer has a 3 or 5% match and you are not taking that match if you can, you're leaving your compensation on the table.
Is it that people don't because I mean, explain what is the
Yeah.
match?
So here's one scenario that we recently came across. Met with the client and they were like, no, I'm enrolled. Yes, technically, your employer has a 401k provider. Everyone who's eligible, that 401k provider has a list of everyone. So that technically means you're quote unquote enrolled, if you will.
This is like a
or that you're
Vanguard or a Fidelity or
eligible,
something.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
But you still have to go in and say, yes, take 3% of my paycheck. You still have to make that deliberate selection. And then you also have to choose what investment to put that 3 to 5% in. Now, many 401k providers now have what's called a target date fund. This is super important. And this is it's sort of after we had the market crash, a lot more of these target date funds came into play. So what that means is if you're 40 and you plan on retiring in 20 plus years, you can pick the date that matches that retirement. So if that is 2056, you're going to retire in 30 years, right? You can literally pick the target date fund. And what that means is your contribution is put into a portfolio that is diversified and plans for that. So riskier now, de-risk into more conservative investments as you get closer to that retirement age.
Which is typically how you want to be set up, right?
Absolutely. So it's almost automatically done versus when we did not have these funds, people who were nearing retirement might find themselves in a super aggressive portfolio and then a market shock takes place and they are not ready.
You can't weather that storm.
You got it.
Yeah.
Time is not on their side.
Okay. So the disconnect there is that people aren't realizing once you're enrolled, you got to go in.
You have to go in, you have to make the deliberate selection. So point one, enroll, decide the percentage of your paycheck you want, make sure you can take the match, and then pick the actual investment that the fund should go into. The other thing we find is that people have enrolled, made a selection, but left it sitting in cash.
What do you mean by that?
So unless you pick the investment portfolio, it just means it sits into what's essentially...
It's not being invested.
It's not being invested. It's what's generally considered a sweep. So it's almost like you're putting it into a savings account.
It just sits there.
And it generally is not a high yield savings account. No. It's sort of that 401k provider thinks that you are going to make a selection soon. So it's really just meant as almost like a holding pattern. But Vanguard did a study, and a lot of people had money sitting in cash for well over 6 years.
Wow, really?
Yes. And
what?
We see it all the time.
Wow.
It's just sitting there. And of course, the plan is investing it because it's cash that they can put to use.
But you are missing out.
But you are missing. And we see it. We see clients who are like, no, I'm investing. And then we go in and we pull the account and we see that it's sitting in cash. I meet with other advisors, same scenario, time and time again. Vanguard's done a study of it over, I believe it was like 35%. And the same happens with IRA contributions as well. So many of you said April 15, I'm moving in, I'm getting my IRA done. Yes, you hit the deadline for the IRS, but you have not made a selection.
It's just sitting in cash.
Sitting in cash.
Wow, that really blows my mind. I mean, wow.
So please go check.
Yes. I'm so glad we're talking about that. Because here I'm thinking like, oh, we got to talk about, maybe upping your contribution by 1% or something. We take a step back. We just got to make sure the contributions are going somewhere.
Made,
yeah.
And they're being
invested.
Yes, a deliberate investment selection has been made.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, please check your beneficiaries.
Also good. Yes.
Yes.
Who's going to get that?
Yes. A lot of you have beneficiaries that you're no longer with.
Ooh, well, that's a nasty surprise if that comes down to it. Yeah.
And beneficiaries trump wills.
Which a lot of people do not realize that.
Do not know. Every time we talk about this, the comments light up because a lot of people are like, no, I have a will. But your plan provider will follow the instructions based on the beneficiaries. There was a case that we saw, I think it was a year or two ago. Gentleman had built over $1 million in a 401k. The beneficiary was an ex-girlfriend of 35 years ago. He'd never updated it.
Oh my God, what a
He had
mess.
3 sons, a wife, and kids. $1 million went to the ex-girlfriend of 35 years.
No. Oh no.
So far, every time I hear these scenarios, the unintended beneficiary has not been benevolent and given it back.
Gee, I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
So far.
I also see a lot. People will write into us. The other risk that you run is not having any beneficiary at all listed.
Yes. At which point, probate court.
And that's a whole mess that you do not want to
That's
have to deal with.
Absolutely. So if you have a trust, you want to state the trust as the beneficiary, but you do not want your money tied up in probate court because then again, someone else is making a decision for you.
I'm thinking about like other investment opportunities or savings opportunities. What about, we've talked about 529s before for college.
Yeah, if you have young ones that you are saving for, now is also a good time to make sure. End of December is generally the deadline. So again, people have moved funds into those accounts and may have not made a selection, or you haven't been thinking about the contributions that you want to make. So 529s are part of your plan for college investments. Also a good time to take a look at those accounts.
Okay, so we've checked our cash flow. We've looked at our with tax withholdings. We're looking at our retirement contributions. What else should I be looking at mid-year here?
Take a step back and say, what was the goal? You may have to recalibrate the goals. So maybe you started off the year and your intention was to save or invest 5,000.
Mhm.
Once you've done that audit process, you may say, okay, you know what? Maybe the goal is now 4,000.
Yeah,
And
life
that's okay.
happens.
Life happens.
Mhm.
But you're making that conscious assessment and now saying, okay, how do I stick to the new goal? How do I revisit the plan? Which we all do. Like if you work in the business, right? There's sort of like the projections for the year. If you're investing in the stock market, we all hear it. CFO has updated guidance. So you're updating your guidance.
I'm glad you said that too, because it's not a bad thing to
not a
change
bad
course.
thing.
I mean, that's the point of making goals and tracking progress.
Absolutely.
Is it's
Yeah.
fluid. You can adjust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we always sort of assume you are adjusting your guidance downwards.
Mhm.
But some of you have
That's-
gotten a new job and a
that's true.
promotion and got more money. So you should be adjusting those
Mhm.
projections upwards.
Mhm.
And maybe you have more cash to save or invest. So this sort of mid-year check-in works both ways.
That's true. That's very true too. And to make sure that you don't fall into the trap where you get that raise
Yeah.
and you also increase your lifestyle as
Lifestyle
opposed
inflation.
lifestyle inflation as opposed to taking that extra money
Yeah.
and saying, nope, that's going to go right into this
You
and we're
got
going to
it.
pretend that didn't even happen, right? Yeah.
You were going to go to the Bahamas. Now you're off to Bora Bora.
Yes, exactly.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Well, just do it deliberately. Make sure it's a conscious decision.
Make sure it's yes. I think it's also always like, use this opportunity to check your credit report, right?
Yes.
Keep up on that. Make
Yes.
sure there aren't any errors. Make sure everything's checking
got
out
it.
there, right? I mean, like little things like that you can just stay
Little
on top
things.
of.
And it's just sort of good. It's just a good muscle, a good practice to just say, you know what? Get once a year, once a quarter that you just sort of check in and, just see, okay, what's the guidance look like? Are
Mhm.
we on track? Did we sort of let some spending creep in that we didn't intend? It's a great time to sort of like pull it back, or hey, we got a big tax refund because we wanted that, but now what do we do with it? Also a great time to put that money to work and invest. So just, great time to just, even check in. Like,
Mhm.
Everyone comes into the beginning of the year with some big,
Oh, yeah.
goals, right? New
Big
Year's
resolutions,
big
yeah.
resolutions.
Mhm.
And generally by Valentine's Day,
It doesn't take long. No.
so it's a great
Yeah.
time to like revisit those resolutions, dust them off, like jumpstart it, bring it back.
And be realistic and be forgiving with yourself too
forgiving.
if you're not where you're at, right? At least you're trying, at least you're looking at it.
These things take time, and we should not, just because you didn't work out for a week doesn't mean you shouldn't work out for the rest of the year.
Great point.
Same with your money.
Great point. I love that.
And be sure to start stating those goals out loud. I'm a firm believer in also letting the people around you know this is the plan.
You need accountability, right?
Yes. Yes.
The stakes are higher when you let other people know that you're doing it and they're watching,
You
right?
got it. And you're far more likely to succeed just by stating it. And then these check ins, we've said this before, those regular check ins give you a 95% chance of actually succeeding against those goals.
Those are pretty good odds.
Yeah. So it might be telling your friends that, I'm only going to do a week at the shore, not 2 weeks this year.
Oh, well, let's not get crazy. Kidding. Mical Jeanlys-White, founder and CEO of Wealthmore. Always, always a pleasure. Thanks for keeping it real with us.
Thank you, Josh. Always a pleasure to be back.